Sundarakanda means a beautiful kanda. Sundare Sundaro Rama, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundaram Vanam, Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundarah Kapi, Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kimna Sundaram. Says our tradition says that in Sundarakanda Rama is beautiful, the story is beautiful, Sita is beautiful, the forests are beautiful, the poetry is beautiful, the monkey is beautiful, the ape is beautiful, the counseling, the mantra of Sundarakanda is beautiful. What is not beautiful in Sundaram? Says the. And actually, it is a matter of experience that when you do a Parayanam of Sundarakandam, you will find that as you are going from Kandam to Kandam, when you come to Sundarakandam, suddenly when you are doing Parayanam, you will find yourself also suddenly realizing that there is something magical about it, even if you don't know Sanskrit. There is a certain music, there is a certain melody, there is a certain beauty to the flow of that river when it reaches Sundarakandam, the Ramayana river. So we are now in Sundarakandam and we have gone. Now let us go with Hanuman. Sundare Sundara Kapihi, the Hanuman. Let us go with him to Lanka. We are in Lanka. We are in search of Sita with Hanuman. Hanuman has, in the night, deep into the night, he has stumbled upon Ravana's palace and he has entered it in seeking Sita. And you can imagine Ravana's palace. Nothing in modern construction can ever beggar comparison to what it might have been like. It is not possible. Lanka itself comes from the word Alankara, beautiful. Ravana's Lanka was beautiful beyond compare. And he had control of all the elements. So this air conditioning, etc., was not needed. Everything was under his control. Everything, the sun, the wind, everything was under his control. Water. And in that beautiful palace of his, Hanuman comes across the Pushpaka Vimana. My God, he says. He just looks at it and the description of Pushpaka Vimana and Ramayana is absolutely fascinating. We are not going into that. But he sees the Pushpaka Vimana deep in the night. It looks like it's huge, it's massive. It can, of course, it can be changed. The size of that Pushpaka Vimana will adjust to the people and what they want. But right now it's parked there inside his palace. It's massive. Like a mountain, Mandara mountain is rising and standing there. You can imagine the temple Gopuram of one some of the big temples like Arunachaleshwara temple. Like that it is. Huge. And standing inside the palace of Ravana. Hanuman decides he has to check it out. So he climbs it. There were golden steps into the Vimana. He climbs the golden steps, and alongside the steps, if you get tired, there are seats of emerald and sapphire kept where you can sit and go. And he climbs up that steps and he goes in and he finds a beautiful floor made of coral floors, inset with rare gems and jewels, etc. Massive floor going around. And he steps in. Look, he must have probably taken a small form so that it's not very visible. But he stepped in and he is immediately greeted by the fragrance of some delightful food and drinks. Nice smell is coming. Valmiki says, Sagandhastam Mahasatvam Bandhu Bandhurmivottamam Itehi Tuvacheva Tatra Yatra Saravana Sagandhastam Mahasatvam Bandhurmivottamam. The wind, Vayu, seemed as if it had taken a personality, a form in that bhavana, and it was welcoming Hanuman, saying, hey, come, 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 bringing him smell of some nice food and some nice drink, etc. to Hanuman, saying, come, come, and wanting to take him to where Ravana was. almost as if Maruti, his father, Vayu Bhagavan, was there to help little Hanuman, saying, this way, come, come, come. And all that. So he's bringing smell of food, etc. to Bhagavan, so that, to Hanuman, so that he can take that direction and go that way. So he went in that direction. See, where is this nice food smell coming from and all that. So he went in that direction, and we didn't realize, but it led to the sleeping apartment of Ravana. Massive place, which Ravana loved like a beautiful wife, says Valmiki. Ravana loved that place. It had it had floors of crystal, and it had figures of ivory and other gold and pearls and etc. inlaid there. It had massive lofty pillars, massive apartment, had massive lofty pillars, which looked as if it was going to take the Pushpaka Vimana and fly off into the outer space like that. Big pillars out there. And when he stepped in, there was a lovely chatter of amorous lovebirds, etc. All kitch, 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 sound coming in. Hanuman is going into that private apartment of Ravana. And there was fragrance of divine scents. And he went in. He didn't know it was the private chamber of Ravana. And when he went to that inner side, the private chamber was massive, and it was spotlessly, it was white. It was white in color, like a swan. And Agaru Dhupa fragrance was wafting nicely. And to Hanuman it looked as if it was the divine cow of Vasishtha, like Kamadhenu, white and beautiful. Everything seemed perfect about that place. What a room, he said, looking around. Manah samhlad jananim varnasyapi prasadiniim tam shoka nashinim divyam shriyah sanjananimiva. What is the characteristics of the room that Valmiki described? Manah samhlad jananim. That room would make the mind happy. It would manah samhlad jananim. It would delight the mind. When you go inside that place, it will bring delight to the mind. Varnasyapi prasadinim. And it will add luster to your body. If you are already fair, you'll look fairer in that room. You'll look brighter. You'll shine like that. Your pradiptam, your radiance will become more when you enter that room. Shokanashinim. If you are sad, all your sadness will be destroyed in that room. There's no room in Ravana's private room for anybody to be sad. That room itself will first make them happy when they enter. Chokanashinim divyam, divine Shriha Sanjananimiva. It was as if that Divya Shriha Sanjananimiva. The room was the origin of renaissance of prosperity. Shriha Sanjananimiva. That is, as if prosperity is reborn here. It will be regenerated here. It will grow here like that. Such a beautiful room. Indriyani indriyarthaistu pancha pancha bhistamaihi tarpaya masamateva tadaravana palita. Now, a beautiful, no, don't worry, it goes on. It's a beautiful analogy Valmiki gives. He says, a mother with a small baby will try to bring a lot of happiness to that baby. She'll take some honey and put it in the tongue. That baby will look up with great joy. What is this? And all that. So she'll be damn thrilled. The baby will be damn thrilled to get some nice honey in the tongue. Then she'll sing to it something. Then she'll show it something, ding, 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 so that it'll look. Then it'll pinch it in the cheek, etc. So that again it'll look like that. All the senses of the child, his mother is interested to give some nice experience to the baby. All five senses, mother is interested. Like that. This divinely beautiful hall of Ravana propitiated all the five senses of Hanuman. Nicely. Hanuman feeling nice about it when he entered there. And he said, Swargoyam devalokoyam indrasyevam puri bhavet indrasyeyam puri bhavet Siddhiryeyam parahi syad amanyata maruti ityamanyata maruti. Maruti thought, Hanuman thought, this must be heaven. Sargoyam, this is heaven. Devalokoyam, or this must be Devaloka. Or this must be Indra's Puri. Indrasya Puri Bhavet. This must be Indra's Puri. Or else, it is the culmination of the Siddhi. It is the culmination of all the effort of Brahma. All Brahma's creation finally found fruition in the creation of this place. He thought, Swargoyam, he said, this must be, this must be heaven. See, the Red Fort in Delhi had this beautiful hall called Diwan-e-Khas, gold inlaid and gems inlaid, and all of that, and fantastic place. And then there was this peacock throne, fantastic, absolutely incredible beauty. That there's an inscription. अगर फिरदौस बेरुआ जमीनस्त हमीनस्त हमीनस्त हमीनस्त. If paradise be on the face of the earth, it is here, it is here, it is here. Zameenast. Even in some other context in Bend in Sarayu, I had, not knowing this, compared the Pushpaka Vimana's description with the description of the peacock throne. Looks like the context is similar because Hanuman is saying Swargoyam there, this is heaven. And here Firdaus is saying this is heaven, this is heaven, this is heaven in this place. Both are not there now. Anyway. प्रध्यायति वा पश्यत् प्रदीप्तान् सत्र काञ्चनान् धूर्तानिव महाधूर्तैर्देवरेण पराजितान्. Very nice description. Says there are golden lamps here and there, lamps of gold to light up that room. Still flames of golden lamp. Valmiki says the flames are like there are some gamblers who in a massive game of gambling have totally lost everything suddenly to a master gambler. A master gambler has just completely bankrupted some gamblers. So immediately the gamblers are completely lost, are deep in contemplation. How did this happen? Completely still and they're deep in contemplation. Where did I go wrong? How did it happen? Like that. Like that these lamps are, it seems. He compares the lamps in the private chamber of Ravana to gamblers who have lost. But still there. And in that massive, endless hall, the beautiful carpet suddenly he saw. You may call it what you want. Soft, long floors. And then he saw lying there. Suddenly Hanuman saw women everywhere. 1,000 splendid women are asleep. Splendid women. Hanuman. Welcome to heaven. They're all dressed in a variety of ways, fallen here and there, overcome by drink, overcome by sport, overcome by sleep. The son of wind god saw these women whose lips had covered their teeth and they were sleeping, and their eyelids had covered their eyes and they were sleeping, and he thought, these are like lotuses which fold up in the night and open up in the morning. He saw all these faces. इमानि मुखपद्मानि नियतं मतषट्पदाः अम्बुजानीव फुल्लानि प्रार्थयन्ति पुनः पुनः. He says, surely intoxicated bees must be coming again and again to these faces, thinking it's lotus to want some honey, must be coming. Like that, he's thinking at these faces. And he says the interior of that, other than those gambler type lamps, the interior of these mansion was being lit up by the presence of these women who were sleeping there. Such were they. Yaschyavantembaratara punyashesha samavrata imasta sangata krishna iti mene haristada. Hanuman looked at them and he thought, these must be the stars from the heaven who have fallen down on the earth but still have some merit left. And they have all assembled in this Pushpaka Vimana, all these women. Some of these ladies, just looking which is Sita, which is Sita. Some of these ladies had beauty mark on their foreheads, they all got smudged. Tilaka were smudged. Some anklets, nupura, etc. had come loose and was falling here and there. Some girdle had fallen, the girdle had fallen, broken and fallen somewhere. Splendid ornaments, all of them. And then some of them, the ornaments when they're sleeping had made deep marks on their skin. And the marks of the ornaments itself looked like ornaments. Hanuman noticing like a yogi, everything clearly. One by one he's seeing. Everything is noticing properly. Some had their faces covered with their upper cloth, and when their breathing was going up and down, like fluttering with their breath, fluttering with their breath. रावणाननशङ्काश्च काश्चिद्रावणयोषितः मुखानि स्वपत्नीनामुपाजिघ्रन् पुनः पुनः. There are many, all these women were lying there, and some of these women in the night, some of these wives of Ravana in the night, again and again kiss the faces of the other lady next to them, thinking it is Ravana in their sleep. And those ladies thinking that Ravana is kissing them in the night and they should reciprocate, they were reciprocating in sleep. They were kissing back, it seems. Hanuman watching all this. Okay. What is happening? Okay. Right. And the golden lamps that were there, which are lit, all those flames, it looked as if they were all watching these women with unwinking stare. What are they up to next? Like that, they're all watching, it seems. In fact, yeah, Valmiki. Valmiki is written, but I'm not giving you all that is written, but most of what is written. All these women who are there, says Valmiki, they were from the families. They were all some high families. They were from the families of rishis, many of families of brahmanas. They are from Daityas, Gandharvas, Pannagas, all that, Rakshasas. And he had carried them all off. He had carried them all. But Valmiki says each one of the women who was there in this mansion had acceded to him of their own free will. Of their own free will. All had fallen in love with him. Some had indeed come to him of their own accord. None of them had been another's wife. In his life, Janaki was the first one who was another's wife and Ravana had broken that rule. About the women, Valmiki says, Na cha kulina na cha hina rupa na dakshina na anupachara yukta bharya bhavattasya cha nahina sattva na cha pikantasya na kamaniya na cha kulina. There was not one who was not of a noble birth. Na cha kulina na cha hina rupa. There was not one who was not beautiful. Na dakshina na anupachara yukta. There was not one who was not adept in the art of pleasing. Bharya bhavattasya nahi. Not one who was not enthusiastic and high-spirited. Ella enthusiastic and high-spirited there. Nachapi kantasya na kamaniya. Some of these Indian words, there's no translation possible. I was sitting there, somebody was telling somebody in one of the wedding, I was thinking, how do you translate this? You just got to understand what it means. Okay, nobody was like that here. Bharya, but they were all enthusiastic. Nachapi kantasya na kamaniya. And no one who was not supremely desirable to her beloved. Like that, all of the women were there. Babuva buddhistu harishwarasya yadidrishi raghava dharma patni imayatha rakshasa raj bharya sujatamasyeti sadhu buddhe. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Sadhu buddhi. Sadhu buddhi says Valmiki of Hanuman. Hanuman is a sadhu buddhi. He's a man of a very, very simple, very straightforward, transparent brain. He could think no mean thought, it seems. And he told himself, Babuva buddhistu harishwarasya yadidrishi raghava dharma patni imayata rakshasa rajavarya sujata masyati. He says, if Raghava's dharma patni was anything like these women who are here, how supremely lucky he would be. He said, looking at all the ladies lying there. Then quickly he corrects himself as this. Punascha sochintayadharta rupo dhruvam vishishta gunato hi sita Athayamasyam kritavan Mahatma Lankeshwara Kashtamanarya karma. Then he was in grief a little bit when he thought about this. Then he told himself, no, no, Sita is immensely superior to all of them. Sita is immensely superior to all of them. And this Lankeshwara has sinned against her grievously by his uncivilized act. He has sinned. And all that he tells himself, and he proceeds to further look around. Then he explores more of that place. And then he comes across a portion of that mansion where there were even better. There were beautiful beds and couches. Best of couches were there. Divine. Made of crystal and diamonds and stuff like that. With wonderful parts made of ivory and gold. With cat's eye gems of great value. Fantastic. And there, in that place, he saw a dais, a huge dais. On top of it, there was a huge, huge, massive white silk umbrella. An umbrella was there. He saw that place from far. Oh my God. And that umbrella was decorated with garlands, which is as bright as the moon. Nice, beautiful, divine garlands. Massive umbrella. And then looking, Hanuman saw under the umbrella, he spotted a gold couch, a bed, gold, dazzling the eye like a sun, and which had garlands of Ashoka flowers hanging around. And the fragrance of rare scents was filling the air. Very rare scents. See, the sense of a monkey would be far superior to yours and mine. And they would know the difference between one fragrance and another. And Hanuman knew this is a rare fragrance. We don't know. Once upon a time when I was in Holland, she sent me to buy some scent. I don't know what to buy. Okay? I went to the shop and somebody had told, I think because mommy wanted, somebody wanted. Yeah. So I said, I wanted to buy. I went and I asked for a musk. They thought I must be nuts. Yeah. He doesn't look like a guy who can buy a musk. So, I mean, from my Sanskrit, I knew musk scent, so I tried. They thought, this guy, give him some aftershave lotion. Anyway, send him off with some cheap aftershave lotion or something. Okay, anyway, so the point is this, coming back here, a rare fragrance was filling the air. The Hanuman went towards to have a closer look, and he saw that golden bed had a lovely sheepskin cover on it, and on it was the king of Lanka asleep. क्रीडित्वा उपरतं रात्रौ वराभरणभूषितं प्रियं राक्षसकन्यानां राक्षसानां सुखावहम्. He saw Ravana, the darling of the Rakshasa maids, Priyam Rakshasa Kanyanam, Rakshasanam Sukhavaham, the unfailing joy of all Rakshasas, the king, Ravana, lying fast asleep, Kriditva Uparatam Ratro, after a long night of sport and deep potations, after nicely drinking and having good time, he's sleeping full. Ravana is asleep. तस्मिन् जीमूतसङ्काशं प्रदीप्तोत्तमकुण्डलं लोहिताक्षं महाभावं महारजतवाससम्. Eyes are half closed, and Hanuman notices deep red eyes, lohitaksham, mighty arms, dressed in a golden yellow cloth, wearing priceless ear pendants. Ravana is asleep. He resembles a rain cloud, it seems a great rain cloud. How? लोहितेनानुलिप्ताङ्गं चन्दनेन सुगन्धिना सन्ध्यारक्तमिवाकाशे तोयदं satadidgunam. His body has been rubbed with red sandal paste. Whole body has been rubbed with red sandal paste. He looked like the rain cloud in the evening sky, as looking scarlet with lightning playing on it. Like that he's looking when he's sleeping. Hanuman notices him. Vritabharana भरणै दिव्यैः स्वरूपं कामरूपिणं savrukshavanagulmadhyam prasuptamiva mandaram. He is adorned with fantastic jewelry, and Ravana, who has the ability to assume any form at will if he wants to. He is sleeping, this massive form of his is lying there as if the Mandara mountain is asleep. Like that, he is lying there. Nishwasantam yathanagam Ravanam vanarottamah asadya paramodvigna sopa sarpat subhitavat. And I mean, this has all happened very quickly. We are explaining in time. Hanuman has gone, he has taken all this in a second. This asleep Ravana is seen in a second, and he immediately recoils, he steps back. Such is the glory of that Rakshaseshwara who is asleep. As if he is recoiling from a serpent, frightened of a serpent, he will recoil. Oh, you go back. Like that, Ravana steps back immediately after seeing, Hanuman steps back after seeing the sleeping Ravana. Ravana also is breathing out, he is hissing like a snake. Like a snake is using his breath, or like an elephant's breath is coming out. Like that, the sound is coming out from his mouth and nose when he's sleeping. So Hanuman goes back, steps back, and then he decided, yeah, I should see some more. So he climbs up a little platform there, so that from height he can see quickly, properly, he can see what all is happening there. So he climbs on platform and looks. The splendid bed of Ravana, and on which Ravana was asleep. Valmiki says it looked like a lake, beautiful lake in which an elephant is asleep. That is there. And the might, that Ravana's mighty arms, is sleeping like this. It's looking like Indra's flagstaff. Like that, huge. And Hanuman noticed the arms. And Ravana's arms has got scars from battle wounds. Hanuman notices that must be a scar from the Airavata, Indra's elephant Airavata's tusker, the tusker Airavata must have hit it. That must be that scar. This one must have come from Vishnu's chakra. That on the shoulder, that must be Indra's Vajra that must have hit there. That's what it looks like. And all that he's noticing all the scars in the mighty arms of Ravana, who's asleep. Built like iron clubs, his massive arms, and he's got his fingers open and he's sleeping. Like that. It looked like massive five-headed serpents. That. Mighty arms, smeared with sandal paste with the color of rabbit blood. Red sandal paste. Arms of Ravana which had been massaged by lovely Rakshasa maids. Arms which had made his enemies wail in distress. Those arms were lying alongside him when he was asleep. And as the king, oh boy, I don't know whether it's gone off or what. And as the, maybe you can, anyway, it's okay. I can't help it. You can get my phone, I can put it on, she can listen. That's okay, leave it. Leave it. The flow will go. So I got my laptop, I kept saying. Right. And as the great king was sleeping and breathing, and the breath was coming out, and Hanuman was above, and he was watching, and the breath was carrying to him the fragrance of all the fantastic food and drinks that Ravana had taken that could be smelt by Hanuman. Man had eaten well and drunk well and was sleeping. And on top of him, a white silk cloth was casually flung on his chest. And he was wearing a golden yellow silk cloth on his body. And he was dark in color, Ravana. And the dark Ravana, lying on that bed, hissing in sleep, looked like an elephant asleep in a water body by the banks of Ganga. Gold lamps were burning on four sides of the bed, illuminating him, lighting him up, as if lightning was flashing on clouds. And he was lying there. पादमूलगताश्च विदधर्ष सुमहात्मनः पत्नी सह प्रियभार्यश्च तस्य रक्षः पतेर्गृहे. पादमूलगताश्च विदधर्ष सुमहात्मनः. The Mahatma Hanuman saw lying all around Hanuman, all around Rakshasa and at his feet, his very dear wives, his loving wives are all around him. Shashi Prakasha Vadana Varakundala Bhushita. Shashi Prakasha Vadana. Their face was like the moon, beautiful like the moon, like the radiant moon. Varakundala Bhushita. They were have wearing beautiful ear pendants. Amlana Malya Bharana. Dadarsha Hariyutapa. The warrior among Hariyutapa, the warrior monkey, ape. Hanuman saw that they were wearing unfading flowers and flawless jewels, flawless jewels. This is the inner circle of Ravana's family. Even among his wife, these are the ones that are there next to him now. Nrittavaditra Kushala Rakshasendra Bhujankaka. And the deeply, deeply knowledgeable man that Hanuman is, he could make out quickly, based on several evidence there, that all these women were all very proficient in Nritta and Vadyam, in dance and music. Kushala. They are very, very proficient, these women. Purna, must be Purna. Yeah. Rakshase Nrittavaditra Kushala Rakshatendra Bhujankaka. They were all skilled in music and dance, and these wives of his were all accessories of Ravana's arms. They were like extension of they were Rakshasendra Bhujankaka. He used to throw his arms around them. They were kind of inseparable from his arms. Like that they were all next to him. मदव्यायामखिन्नास्ता राक्षसेन्द्रस्य योषितः तेषु तेषु अवकाशेषु प्रसुप्तास्तनुमध्यमाः तनुमध्यमा of slim waist. Madavyayama they were all tired after the strenuous exercise of sport of love, it seems, all these ladies. Madavyayama Rakshasendrasya yoshitah. They had all fallen asleep when teshu avakasheshu. Whenever they found an interval in their sport, whenever they got the first opportunity, somehow when they could no more, they slept. They were all sleeping out there, says Valmiki. Angaharai Sathavanya Komalai Nrittashalini Vinyasta Shubha Sarvangi Prasupta Varavarnini. There was a woman among them, there was a wife, Hanuman could make out. She was very skilled in dancing because her body was such when she was sleeping that every limb, every aspect of her body was in a dance posture. Perfect. He could make out. Okay. Angaharai Tathevanya Komalai Dhritashalini Vinyasta Shubha Sarvangi Prasupta Varavarnini. Skill in dancing consisting of delicate body postures slept in the same way with all her body parts making the same dance postures. Whatever it means. Okay. Another one. काचिद्वीणां परिष्वज्य प्रसुप्ता सम्प्रकाशते महानदी प्रकीर्णेव नलिनी पोतमाश्रिता. There was another lady, wife of Ravana. There was another lady, wife of Ravana, who had fallen asleep hugging a veena. She was playing the veena and she had fallen asleep, and like that she was hugging the veena and sleeping. She was looking like an uprooted lotus. A lotus has been uprooted by a mighty stream, and it gets and it's clinging to a boat like that. Like that, she's clinging Veena and she's sleeping there. It seems Hanuman notices that. Anya kakshagatenaiva maddukenasite prasupta bhamini bhati balaputreva vatsala. There's another lady, a black-eyed beauty, Asitekshana, a black-eyed beauty, Asitekshana. Huh? And must have been half her eyes are open. Valmiki knows the color of her eyes. Okay. Okay. He has been blessed with that ability to see all this. So Hanuman. Now she was pressing there's a drum called Maduka drum. She was pressing a Maduka drum close to her and sleeping like that after playing that like a loving mother, an infant child. She's sleeping like that. See? Another lady whose every limb was charming was clutching an instrument called pataha, another percussion instrument, like a woman who is hugging her lover who has come back after a long period of separation. क्रम चिदंशं परिष्वज्य सुप्ता कमललोचना निद्रावशमनुप्राप्ता सह कान्तेव भामिनी. Another woman with lotus-like eyes was hugging a flute to her bosom, just like a woman with lust holding her lover in secret. In secret. One lady, another lady with inebriated, drunken looks, slept while she had been playing mridanga. She had slept while she had been playing mridanga with her soft, beautiful, lovely hands and fingers. She had been golden, nicely plump fingers, it seems. Golden fingers. So explain. Fingers soft, plump, golden. She had been playing and slept off like that. They used to play percussion instruments in those days. These women and all. They could do all this. Okay. Now, another lady, when she had fallen asleep, she had knocked off one water pot, it seems. Ta-ta. So her water and all had fallen on her and she was sleeping off, slept off. And she looked as if during the season of spring, there is this beautiful garland of flowers of multiple colors on which water has been sprinkled all over to keep it fresh. Like that. She's lying there. तासामेकान्तविन्यस्ते शयानां शयने शुभे ददर्शरूपसम्पन्नामपरां सकपिः स्त्रियम्. Then Hanuman saw on one side, away from all these women, but very much in prominence, separately there was one bed on which a most beautiful woman was asleep. Fantastically beautiful woman was asleep, away from all these other women. Her own place, separate. Ekanta. Rupa Sampannam Striyam, very beautiful woman, Shayanam, sleeping in auspicious couch. Shubhe Shayane. That bed didn't look like anything inauspicious. It looked like a very auspicious bed. Shubhe Shayane. Shubhe Shayane. Sakapi Striyam, he saw. She was quite totally, supremely above all the others. Mukta Manisamayuktair Bhushanai Suvibhushitam Vibhushayantim Ivachya Swashriya Bhavanottamam. Muktamani Samayuktair Bhushanai Suvibhushitam. She had Muktamani Samayuktair. Of course, she had all the best of jewels and all that. She was wearing all that. But it was nothing. That was nothing. It was her gracious beauty that was lighting up this place. This entire mansion was getting its shriyam from her gracious beauty. He saw Hanuman. Gaurim Kanakavarnabham Ishtantah Pureshwarim Kapir Mandodarim Tatra Shayanam Charu Rupini. Gaurim Kanakavarnabham, fair. She was beautifully fair. Golden radiance was coming from her. And Ishta, she was the Ishta. She was obviously the beloved. Antapureshwari, no question that she was the queen of this Antapura. He had seen 1,000 women and also the inner circle, all that. Hanuman knew this is queen. This is the one who is supreme. Antapureshwari, she is. This one is. But he did not notice Mandodari. But he was seeing Mandodari. Kapit Mandodarim Tatra Shayanam Charurupinim Satam Dashtva Mahabahur Marutatmaja Tarkayamasa Siteti Rupayavana Sampada Harshena Mahata Yukto Nananda Hariyutapah. She was adorned with so much beauty and so young. Rupayavana Sampada, young lady, beautiful and so beautiful in form. He thought logically, Tarkayamasa, Sita iti. This is Sita. Sita understand her. And thrilled he was. Harsha. Harshena Mahata Yukto. Filled with thrill. Hanuman. Mahata Yukto. Filled with thrill. Nananda. Joy. Ashphotayamasa Chuchumbapucham Nananda Chikrida Jagau Jagamasthambhanaro Annipapata Bhomo Nidarshayan Swam Prakritim Kapenam. Ashphotayamasa. He started clapping his shoulders. When he saw this lady. Ashphotayamasa. Chuchumbapucham. He took his tail and kissed it. Tom. His tail he was kissing. This is great and all that. Nananda, jolly. Chikrida started playing around. Chikrida, Jagau started singing. Started singing. Jagau Jagama. Sita has been found. Jagau Jagama. He started pacing up and down and singing. Then the pillars were there. Quickly he started jump. and started climbing up the pillar. Oh, he used to jump from down from top. He was doing all this. Why was he doing all this? Nidashayan swam prakritim kapinam. He was a victim of his nature as a monkey. So monkey in happiness does all this. So he was full of happiness. Thought, 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 and started singing, and he started kissing his tail and climbing up and down and jumping and all that. Singing Mandodari. Hiya, hiya, hiya. So it in the right time. Then Valmiki says his mind stopped a little bit and looked, thought again and took a different turn from this conclusion. He had reached one conclusion, Sita iti. Now it comes to now he was forced to dismiss that notion. Why? Naramena viyukta sa soptumarhati bhamini. Sita will not sleep. She will not find sleep. Separated from Rama, she will not be able to sleep in the night. Na bhoktum napyalankartum. She will not. She will have no joy. Na bhoktum. Na alankartum. She will not have makeup and all the jewelry and all. She will not wear without Rama and not their wife. She will not be wearing all this fantastic dress and jewelry and all that. Na panam upasevitum. Some very nice wine Mandodari had taken and she was sleeping. That all Sita will not take if Rama is not there. Na panam upasevitum. Na anyam naramupasthatum. And she will not be sleeping in the same room as another man. Even if it were Suranam apicheshwaram, even Indra himself. He will not. Ahalya had done that. Sita will not do that. He says. No, not do that. Nahi Ramasya kaschid vidyate, nahi Rama samah kaschid vidyate tidasheshvavi. There is no person in the entire three worlds, including among the gods, who is equal to Rama, says Hanuman in his mind. Anyeyam iti nischitya pana bhumau chacharasah. Therefore he concluded, Anyeyam. She must be somebody else. Arrow, not Sita. Anyeyam iti nischitya. Then he said, my job is not ended. I have to continue my search. I better look around more and all that. We'll conclude here, but the point of bringing the story at this point was, we saw from Adbhuta Ramayana that Sita is Mandodari's daughter. So is there anything in Valmiki Ramayana which points out to this fact? This points out to this fact. The Hanuman is a master. Later when he meets Sita and he's giving his credentials to Sita, Sita is not yet convinced that he is who he says he is, that I am messenger of Rama and all that. And as a part of that, she will ask him to describe how Rama is, and he'll describe Rama head to foot. Every part of Rama he'll describe to Sita. Perfect, like an artist describing. Nose is big, so much long, eyes is so much big, like that, everything he'll describe. Such a person he is. If he's going to mistake Mandodari for Sita, obviously he has got a good idea of what she looks like from Rama. He's coming to search for her. Rama would have told. Lakshmana doesn't know how Sita looks. He only knows how her feet looks. He has no clue. Only Rama knows. Rama must have told him. Hanuman would have registered all that, and he comes and makes this enormous mistake of thinking and jumping and kissing his tail and singing and dancing. Seeing Mandodari, Yavvanam, she is youthful. That is Sita. Then of course is because of logic he says it can't be, not because of anything else. It's like double acting. See, even in Ramcharit Manas and other Manasas, in Ramayana, even Adhyatma Ramayana as well. When Rama is going in the forest and desperately when Sita has been kidnapped and he is looking, Sita, 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 is shouting, looking, where is she, where is she, where is she? Parvati asks Shiva, why is Vishnu acting as if, why is he so like a human being, shouting and crying for his wife? So Shiva says, you can test him. So she immediately takes the form of Sita and comes in front of him. Rama dismisses her from sight. He doesn't even acknowledge her presence. Asks her how is Shiva or something like that and proceeds forward. Okay. So the point is that the perfect identical form that she's taken also Rama is unconcerned. So like here, she was very, obviously it does seem from what Valmiki is saying, and considering the fact that Hanuman is a Mahayogi, that there must be a striking resemblance of Mandodari and Sita.